Welcome everybody, thanks for tuning in today as we discuss cold weather gloves. Unfortunately, I am not blessed with great circulation in these little bitch mitts here, and I suffer from cold fingers quite often, so this is a topic I have spent a lot of time researching, testing, and trying out, and we just want to put together a few gloves today from thin wind protection to a little bit thicker and bulkier, so that way you kind of know what might be best for you based on the natural temperature of your fingers or how cold your riding climate is. So let's get into the gloves. All right, so I'm not gonna try to memorize my script today. I've got notes here. I don't want to miss anything important, so it's a lot of gloves, a lot of information. First off, we're gonna go with the Specialized Neo-Shell Thermal Gloves. They've got some Polartec material in them, Velcro cuff, which is nice, long cuff, which is also great for cold weather, because if you're wearing a jacket, you can get it over there. You don't have to worry about wind, cold weather coming in, getting your arms nice and cold. These are a pretty solid glove. They're definitely gonna be on the thinner side. It is a wind-resistant Polartec Neo-Shell material. I would say that this is probably like either someone who's got real warm hands naturally, or someone who's maybe riding in the 40s, high 40s, and wants to just take that little bit of chill off. Really nice thin palm is definitely one of our digs on these. The Specialized Neo-Shells have a hydrophobic axe suede palm, which is a pretty thin, nice feeling palm. You get a good feel on the handlebar and on your brake levers. If you're a fingertip breaker, you may not get quite as much feel because there's definitely a kind of a thicker leather that is stitched on there that is supposedly touchscreen compatible. That is definitely one of our criticisms of this glove, though. It is not super sensitive, at least on our screens. It could be that, you know, most of us have screen protectors on there, but definitely not a strong suit out of this glove. So long cuff, Velcro cuff, easy to take it on, easy to take off, great bar feel, minimal protection if it's really, really cold out. But again, this is more of a cool weather glove. So if you need just something to take the chill off, great option. And before we move on, that glove retails for $45. So we're gonna move on to one of my favorite gloves of the shootout, and that is the Leatt MTB 2.0 SubZero. I don't love everything about this glove, but it is definitely one of the warmer gloves in this roundup. It's pretty thick up top. Definitely offers pretty good protection from colder temperatures and wind. I do like the higher cuff, not a Velcro, it's a slip-on, but it is, as you can see, kind of baggy. So depending on how big your wrists are or how tight you want that to protect, you know, air and wind coming in, usually you're not riding backwards, but that is one of our little criticisms. A second is that it seems like a lot of the Leatt gloves that we try have a great fit and feel when your hand is open, right? Unfortunately, most of the time we're wearing these, our hands are in that position. And they're really tight around this knuckle area. I'm far from ham-fisted by any means, and this is a size large, and they're pretty snug when I make my hand into a fist to wrap around the bar. So the fit on these, I would say, is a touch on the small side, so you may wanna size up, especially if you've got really thick fingers or a big fist. Other than that, really nice palm, super thin. It's what Leatt calls their micron grip. It is very good with smartphone screens, so taking your Instagram pictures out on the trail, sending text messages, checking your emails, definitely easy to do with that. We like this nice, soft little snot strip here on this thumb. Cold weathers, obviously, lots of snot. Comfy glove, warm glove. I really like it. And that glove retails for $39.99. Okay, next up, we are going to move over to the 7IDP Chill Gloves. Velcro, again. Fit on these, I would say, is pretty true. I typically run a medium because I like a really snug, tight glove. In the winter though, sometimes I will go up to a large just because I want to have a little bit more space and a barrier in there to keep some of that warmth in. And I think this is a pretty true fit. Nice fit. One thing I will say about the comfort of the glove is that the seams that are here along the inside of the finger are not all that comfortable. They're not as smooth and soft. You can kind of feel where each layer starts and stops, which once you start riding, it kind of fades to the background. But when you just put it on compared to some of these other gloves, it is definitely a little bit of a weak point. Another weak point with these gloves is that they have that tech thread, which is supposed to be conducive to your smart screen. The bummer is that the tech thread doesn't stick out as far as these textured rubberized gripper strips. So if you're swiping on your phone screen, they're not gonna actually touch. A little bit of an oversight there. But Clarino Palm, super comfy, really nice grip feel. That's a definite plus. They are rather warm. I like these gloves. They're not super thick and bulky, but I've ridden these down into the high 30s. And again, I have notoriously cold hands. So the fact that I can wear a glove this thin and into that kind of upper 30 temperature range is quite impressive. And I am stoked on it for that. A solid glove all around. Little bit of comfort issues again in the finger, smartphone compatibility issues, but $35 glove, not a bad deal. Stealthy, black, they work, they look good. All right, next we are gonna move on to the big dogs here. These are the 100% Hydromatics. First off, some of the dislikes, pretty tight cuff. It's a little bit of a pain to get on. There is also, kind of like ski gloves, there's a liner inside. So when your hands are hot or sweaty, it might be a little difficult to like kind of get that liner into each of those finger holes and work your hand back in there. Not terrible, but it is something that just takes a minute that you gotta kind of work it in there. Also, another slight complaint about that inner liner is the tiniest bit of slip when your hand is on the bars. You don't feel it a ton, but it is just enough if you're really in tune or a bare-handed rider or someone that really likes the thinnest palm possible. There is just that little bit of slip between those two layers, and it is something you're gonna probably notice if you're really in tune. That being said, this is a fully waterproof glove, so it is going to offer a little bit more protection from really wet elements, and sometimes you've got to pay a little bit of a penalty for that. And along with being waterproof, they are pretty dang warm. So I have definitely found myself wearing these gloves quite a bit on some of these colder days when we're starting out and it's 30, 32, 34 degrees. I'll definitely start my ride in these, and if I have to, I'll swap out, put these in my pack and pull out another thinner cold weather glove as things warm up. But they're comfortable, very high cuff. They are a little bit of a pain to get on, which is a bit of a bummer. Not the best bar feel. Touchscreen compatibility is pretty solid, especially for kind of such a thick glove. And I will say that the fit on these is pretty true and accurate. I wear a large in these. Like I said, sometimes I will size up because I don't like my winter gloves to be quite as tight. And I think for a large, it's maybe a touch on the snug side. If you're kind of in between, you may want to go up, but overall a pretty solid fit and a glove I definitely recommend. And at $39.50 for the warmth and water protection you get, a really solid choice. Next up is the Fox Defend Pro Fire Glove. Fox's Defend Fire line is known for being hot, as you could probably guess, and the gloves are also pretty warm. I think they're as warm as that jacket is, or those pants. Those things are crazy. Yeah, but very cool ripstop material, high cuff, slip-on design. Got a pretty thin palm. Again, they're using an Axe Suede fleece-lined waterproof palm, which is very cool. DWR finish, which helps shed moisture, debris. These things have been through, I think, 2 seasons, 2 winters of use, and they're still holding up. So quite impressive there. The conductive thread on the fingers is not all that great. It's kind of fallen out a little bit, at least here on the thumb, but it's not the best out of the bunch, and that's a little bit of a bummer, but there's not too many other real downsides other than the price, really. So if you are looking for a pretty warm glove that's got a nice waterproof palm, ripstop material, a solid fit, this thing is comfortable. I would say that it runs a little bit big. This is also a size large, and it's quite a bit baggier than, like, say, this 100% large. So I would say, again, fairly true to fit, but a touch on the big side. So if you're kind of on a border, you may want to size up or size down, I should say, if that's there. $69.95, it is expensive, or they are expensive gloves. I don't know that they offer that much more warmth or anything that's that much better than these gloves, which are between, $39 and $45. But I guess if you love Fox stuff, then you'll love those gloves. Now, last up, we've got the Fox Ranger water glove, and these are a much thinner waterproof glove, which are also pretty good at deflecting wind. These are a size medium, and I would say they're about right for a medium. Again, tight, nice fit, I like it. Cuff, not as long, also it's a smaller size, but I would like to see a little bit longer cuff for these cooler temps. You've got the same Axe suede waterproof palm, really good bar feel, very thin. I mean, this doesn't feel any different than like a nice summer glove. Once again, you are dealing with some less than ideal tech thread placement here in the fingertips. They are not so great. The rubber strips are also kind of, I guess, taller than that thread is, so you're not getting a lot of conductivity when you're trying to swipe or touch your phone. If you, again, have pretty mild winters, damp mornings, or you just naturally run hot, this would probably be a really good option for you because it will give you just enough protection to take the edge off, but won't be overly hot. One thing to note, though, is that these things are starting to fall apart a little bit. I don't think I've even gone down on these guys, but they're just kind of pulling apart. Again, probably should be in a large. I just like a really snug, tight glove, but still, with the short amount of time we've had these, I don't think that seam should be pulling apart like that. So something to note with those. $44.95, again, you're paying a little bit more than some of these other gloves in the market. One other glove that we didn't really write up, but is worth mentioning, are these Leatt Windblocks. This is a glove I will carry quite a bit in the winter in my pack, similar to these. If I know it's gonna be warming up a little bit, what I will do is stick those in my pack, start out with a really thick, warmer set of gloves, and then once the temperatures go up a little bit, I will transition into something a little bit thinner like this. Or again, if I'm just down in Southern California where it's not all that cold, just a little chilly, these Windblock gloves are gonna be a great option. Thin, minimalist, but give you just enough protection to keep you warm. So if I could only pick two of these gloves, which ones would I pick? Because I gotta have a thick set and a thinner set, right? And I boxed myself in a corner here because that's gonna be a tough choice. My number one go-to cold weather glove, the Dakine White Knuckles, but Dakine stopped making them. I don't know why. If you guys are watching out there, Dakine, let me know. I'm guessing you didn't sell that many, but why? Make some more. I would recommend them to everybody. Please, bring it back. Moving on, okay? I'm not bummed at all. These two are gonna be top runners. The Leatt is, I would say, a little bit more comfortable and something that I would kind of feel more comfortable just like mountain biking with, riding. You get a little better bar feel. It feels a little bit more like a regular glove. However, when it is really, really cold out, I will definitely go with those 100%. So I know I broke my own rules, but those are the two. If it's super cold, I'm picking 100%. If it's cold, but not crazy, I'm going Leatt. And then as I transition into a little bit warmer temperature, I will probably go with these Leatts, followed by the Foxes. that's kind of my normal glove hand layering situation. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully brought a little bit of insight and experience to a few gloves out there on the market, and will help you pick in the right size and the right model for you. Ask any questions that you have down below. We'll do our best to get back to you guys. One last thing, we did get quite a bit of new merch in the web store. You might see this fresh new t-shirt I'm wearing here. We would be greatly appreciative if you guys check that stuff out. We've got a 20% discount code available to people. If you go to the web store and sign up for our little text messaging group, we'll even get you a 20% code. So thank you guys very much for watching. Check out the web store. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you out on the trails.